All right, welcome back to the channel. So Deontay Wilder has more criticisms and more pressure put on him to step aside from the Tyson Fury fight by Tim Bradley and Andre Ward of ESPN. Let's cover what they both say because they both have different points of views on it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Deontay Wilder has two American former champions and mouthpieces of ESPN telling him to step aside from the Tyson Fury fight and let Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight. The rationale is predictable, and but it is one is reasonable. One guy's decision opinion is reasonable. They're both reasonable, but ain't neither one of them happening. And there is some issues with them. So let's go through it. But before I do that, I want to welcome you back to the channel. If you're a subscriber, thank you guys so much for your support and checking out the videos on a daily basis. If you're a channel member, thank you so much for joining as a member. If you're a Patreon member, thank you so much for your support on Patreon. And also everybody that comes by the live streams and supports through the super chat, thank you very much. Let's get into this. So this is what Tim Bradley had to say. I'm paraphrasing Tim Bradley's opinion on Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. First, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fought 2 times for the heavyweight championship. The first fight was a draw, and the second one was a win for Tyson Fury by 7th round knockout. And there's been a lot of noise about, things that Deontay Wilder didn't even say after the fight. And a bunch of people from the UK and obviously ESPN and these guys trying to move immediately to a fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, which is mind-boggling to me because I could have sworn that I saw Anthony Joshua get his ass knocked out the fight before last. But, that's for a later portion. That's for a later portion of the video. Now, Tim Bradley gives his opinion about it and says that Deontay Wilder needs to step aside because, because the way that he is now, there's no way he'll beat a guy like Tyson Fury, that he needs to take the money, get back with his trainers, learn how to box, improve his skills, just runs the dude, learns how to box. And then he says, and go fight somebody else and make a name for yourself. What is Tim Bradley on, dude? Deontay Wilder already made a name for himself. You know perfectly well who that dude is. He's going to be able to go into the fight, and the fight is still going to do extremely well on pay-per-view. He's going to make a ton of money doing it. And so the idea that Deontay Wilder needs to go fight somebody else to make a name for himself is ridiculous. And sometimes it's just something that just pops off the lips of Tim Bradley sometimes, which makes me think that he needs a producer to sit down with him and go through what exactly it is that he's going to say before he starts running his mouth. Because to say that Deontay Wilder needs to make a name for himself is absolutely positively ridiculous. If that's the case, dude, who are you, Tim? Who are you? Never heard of you. Hey, stop commentating and saying silly things and go back out there and make a name for yourself. Man, to tell Deontay Wilder to make a name for himself is just ridiculous. But again, that's me. When I listen to what somebody says, I take what they say as if they mean exactly what they say. I understand that sometimes people might use the wrong phrase or an inappropriate term, but with Tim Bradley, I ain't giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna act like this dude actually thinks that people don't know who Deontay Wilder is, and that somehow going to fight Robert Helenius that if Deontay Wilder didn't fight Tyson Fury and went to go knock out Robert Helenius, that somehow is going to rebuild his reputation. Get out of here. Deontay Wilder knocked out 40 guys before that, and none of y'all respected him through all of that. So how would him going to fight Robert Helenius and Joe Joyce and guys like that? How is that going to help Tyson? How's that going to help Deontay Wilder? How's that going to help him rebuild his name? Or what did he say again? How's that going to help him make a name for himself? The idea and what they're talking about is it's absolutely ridiculous. But Tim Bradley continued on, and the portion about spending time with his trainer, with another trainer, and making some adjustments so that he can beat Tyson Fury, I do think is a good idea. And I wouldn't mind that at all, because I personally think Tyson Fury is Tyson Fury is a step away from implosion at any given time, dog. That is not a status. I don't care how many articles about him and showing him and his wife and all that stuff come out, and how they try to build his daddy in the UK to be some upstanding member of the pugilist community. I don't care how any of that stuff's off. Tyson Fury is a cheater. He's a PED cheater. The dude doesn't have a boxing license in the UK because of the crap that went on with that. And he's just generally a very wishy-washy, iffy type of dude. So Deontay Wilder could very well take a couple fights, let Tyson Fury implode, and then see if he can come back to that. But more than likely, that's not what Deontay Wilder is going to want to do, especially when Deontay Wilder got $40 million sitting on a potential $40 million sitting on the table. And if so I don't get that. Well, he's not going to do it. Which brings me to Andre Ward's point. Andre Ward said that he said for $20 million, you should step aside. If they were going to pay you $20 million to step aside, you should take that $20 million. You got $20 million in your bank to train and, to rehab and do all of these different things. Now absolutely. But here's the problem with that. Who's going to get, first of all, it's not $20 million. It's closer to $40 million. Not 20, closer to 40. Okay? Because the last fight, those are $100 million fights. And it's a 60-40 split. So his team gets 40% of it. Now, he probably would get a little less than 40 because or less than 40, because I know that there's definitely costs that come out of that revenue. So maybe the number is 25 million. But here's the thing. Who in the world is going to pay $20 million to Deontay Wilder to step aside? Bob Arum already said he ain't going to do it. Eddie Hearn and DAZN, is Eddie Hearn and DAZN going to do it? Because will the fight be, because, you would actually have to make a fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for DAZN to really even be in it at all. But that's, but I do appreciate his points. And for me, I would not mind if Deontay Wilder didn't take that rematch right away, and he did let his body rest. He did, go to training camp, figure out what he's got to do, just get everything in order, and come back later. I don't think there's a problem with that. That's the same thing and no shame in it. Because that's what Lennox Lewis did. When Lennox Lewis lost to Oliver McCall, and he lost to Oliver McCall by knockout, he did not go right back in with Oliver McCall. It was several fights later that he went and fought Oliver McCall. The only reason that probably the only reason that he went right back into it with Hasim Rahman is because he was old. He was older in his career, and he knew that if he didn't take that right now, and Hasim Rahman had lost that championship to somebody else, that he might not have been able to get another championship. He might not have been able to get another shot, which really, now that I think about it, is probably a little closer to the scenario that you have with Deontay Wilder. And I think it's important for people to remember, it should be important for Andre Ward to take into consideration that none of these guys are going to be in a hurry to fight Deontay Wilder. None of them. Like, you have all this crazy talk about Daniel Dubois being ready for Deontay Wilder. Like, he's the next Mike Tyson. That's a bunch of marketing crap. They're not putting Daniel Dubois in there with Deontay Wilder right now. And on top of it, they can't afford a fight between Deontay Wilder and Daniel Dubois. So, how's that pop? I don't believe that's popping off. Now, whether they can afford it or not, no, I don't think that they can. Because unless you're going to bring Daniel Dubois to the United States, anyway, man, that whole Daniel Dubois situation is whatever. My point is this: I absolutely positively do understand what what Andre Ward is saying and what Tim Bradley is saying. Except for the make your name for yourself with Tim Bradley stuff is, yeah, dude, shut up with all that. The rest of it, kind of, okay, I get you. The Andre Ward part about the $20 million, if he was going to offer him $20 million to step aside and then he had some guarantees that he was going to be able to get that fight, no shame whatsoever in Deontay Wilder taking that money. And as long as he's going to actually get the money and actually get the fight, the same money he would have got for Tyson Fury, and that fight will happen, plus the $20 million, then, hey man, Deontay Wilder should absolutely positively, think about that. So anyway, that's my take on the situation. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.